Hi there, Aquarius. Welcome to Feathered Serpent Tarot. I'm here to do your June 2017 reading. I'm also new, so this is my first month reading on YouTube. I hope to get to know many of you better. And if you like my style of tarot, I will have information very soon as to how you can reach me to arrange for a private reading through Skype. And we can take it from there. But in the meantime, I'm just going to get started. I have pre-shuffled your cards before, and now we're looking for some insight and guidance for Aquarius for June 2017. Aquarius for June 2017. So what I can tell you, Aquarius, is that June is going to be a fairly significant month for all of us. Different signs are experiencing different degrees of difficulty with the major changes and shifts that we're all wrestling with. Things that we have to let go of, things we need to make space for, clarity that we need to find on our needs and the needs of those around us. It is very much a relationship, or at least issues of relationships that we're all dealing with in one form or another, slightly different contexts, patterns from the past that we don't need. So let's see what pops up for you. And we have, at the center of your reading, the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is a very interesting card. And ironically enough, this would be interesting to see if this is the challenge that Aquarius is facing, because Aquarius tends to be kind of opposite from what the Hierophant represents. I mean, as we enter into the age of Aquarius, that kind of gives you a clue, whereas the Hierophant is really more about long-standing tradition, higher learning, higher consciousness, the sense of a general knowing of what's right and wrong. Hierophant is a very tricky card. There's a lot of folks who, again, it depends on the context, but as an Aquarius right now, you may be feeling bound by the restrictions of tradition. And I only say that because this really is the opposite to what Aquarius represents, is breaking through tradition, finding a new path. Okay, so you have as your obstacle the Eight of Wands, because things are moving really quickly. Something is moving very, very quickly. Lots of messages, lots of communication. Let's see what's happening. We've got the Knave of Chalices as the foundation of your reading. So this could be either a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This could be a general feeling of feeling emotional. Could also be an offer of love with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands crossing the Hierophant, which is also associated with marriage. Interesting. Let's just see what comes up. And then we've got the King of Chalices. So yeah, this is very much about love. Emotional maturity, maybe some feelings of being vulnerable. Nine of Pentacles, very common card this month. I associate the Nine of Pentacles with a state of grace that comes with experience. That it's a quiet accounting of what you've gained materially, as well as how working towards goals have changed who you are. And there's a quiet assurance about that and a grace to it. Short-term outcome. You're not the only one. This is the Ten of Swords. So this is like betrayal, big endings, tremendous amount of stress, probably a lot of overthinking, thoughts that you just can't seem to get rid of. Okay, so Aquarius is no different than anyone else this month. So as I've been telling everyone, you're not alone. Everybody, depending on the sign you're in, it's going to affect you in different ways. But this is a critical time for all of us. All right, so now we have the King of Swords in the position of you. So the King of Swords is a bit detached, very practical, very much about getting to the truth of things, the core truth of things, eloquent, witty, and like I said, but there's a bit of a coldness to it because it really is all about being in the mind. So Aquarius being the air sign that they are, and Aquarius kind of dances on that line of working from a very emotional place because of Aquarius being the water bearer. So every once in a while, there's this flippy vulnerability, got it all clear that Aquarius bumps into periodically in it, and it can be very unsettling. And in the environment, you've got the Lovers. So this could possibly be a left triangle situation, either that or an extremely powerful connection between you and a water sign, perhaps. There could also be a younger water sign in your world that's at the foundation of your situation. So in your hopes and fears, you have the Ten of Chalices. So this is complete and total fulfillment in family and relationships, children, wealth, emotional harmony. Everything is, this is kind of like the Christmas Day card, that kind of feeling when all the family's around and there's feasting and appreciation for the family that you have. This is great. So perhaps there's something going on in terms of a love connection that is hanging in the balance. However, for the first out of the three final outcome cards that I'm going to pull for you, you have the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is it's kind of a looking back to the last time you remember really, feeling inspired and fired up about what you've been accomplishing. So this is it's kind of like, these are the goals that I set out to do. I can feel fairly good about it. Let's see what the other two cards are. Okay, so then we have the Strength card, which is great. So looking back, there's an assessment. It's fairly good. We all make mistakes. We can always make improvements on how we've handled things in the past. But at the end of the day, what whatever you've been through up until now has made you stronger. And it's lasting, it's solid, it's to the very core of your being. Now, the Strengths card I also see as representing possibly a Leo, just because that card tends to point to Leos. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune as your very final. So, depending on, I can only assume that if the short-term outcome is the Ten of Swords and the final outcome is the Wheel of Fortune, is that you're going to get pulled out of this Ten of Swords situation fairly quickly. I'm going to put some clarifier cards down for each of these and see if we can get a little bit more insight as to the relationship of some of these ideas. So, first things first, look at that, the Hierophant. And we've got clarifying that, the Four of Swords. So, contemplation, reflection on what your inner values are, in the truest sense of the word, will come to you when you rest from the fast pace of everything that's moving right now. So, and I'm just going to put this here too, because I saw it, the Empress. So the Empress is extremely empowered. And represents fullness, abundance, all of those things. Can also possibly point to a Virgo. But, whether that may be true for some. So now let's take a look at the Eight of Wands and see what it is. If we can get any more insight. Okay, so the Magician. So maybe it's you who's accelerating some sort of process with an offer of love to someone. And with the Magician, it's like, you have all the tools, but because things are moving so quickly, you're not feeling quite as confident about your ability to wield your power, for, using your power for good. Like, this is, things are just moving too quickly, though. So now, so on the Knave of Chalices at the bottom, if this is a person, if it's your emotional state, it needs balance. And so this guy's juggling. So you're going to be juggling some things. You're probably feeling that right now with all of the fast-paced communications, etc., etc. So, you've got your stick on the ice. Everything's good. So the King of Chalices. I now have the King of Chalices covered with the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is about family, partnership, and whatnot. So there could have been a water sign in your past. Someone mature, nurturing, and lovely, loving, emotionally supportive. Someone who you can depend on to build this kind of foundation with. So let's take a look at Nine of Pentacles. This is what's crowning everything that you're experiencing currently. There we go. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So There is a sense of patience, waiting for the timing to be right on something. You're ready. You know, you've done all the work to achieve this grace and a certain level of mastery over your current set of circumstances, but you're not making the move just yet. You're just patiently standing by. And perhaps you know what this Ten of Swords thing is about. Maybe this is something that you're expecting to happen at any time. And so in the meantime, you're preparing for it. Yeah, and you're prepared. You're prepared and you're preparing. And you're in quiet observation before you take the next step. So let's get some clarity on the Ten of Swords. King of Cups. So once again, it seems as though we have another mirror. I find that this is how the cards tend to lay out with me a lot, actually. The central character here is the King of Chalices. So a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And so something is coming with regards to this person. So I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more clarity on that. So, Page of Pentacles again. This could be an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, a younger. So this could be a love triangle situation. We do have the lovers in the environment. But at the same time, I'm seeing water signs. I'm seeing an air sign, which could be you. It's probably you because it's in your position. And possibly a Leo. So yeah, everybody's looking back. Everybody's looking back at something. Two of Wands. The lovers again. So I'm thinking that there just might be a love triangle in here with potential water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, possible Leo, possible earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So you being the King of Swords, what's happening with you? Maybe that'll fill in some of the blanks on this quadrant here. You're really sad. There's some sorrow here. But you're detached from it. Oh, perhaps you're thinking about moving on. And this is the Ten of Swords, maybe. It could be a scenario where there's a split with a water sign. Yeah, sadness and disappointment. You've got 3 cups fallen over, but you still have 2 cups behind you. So that's basically what ends up happening. Ironically enough, with the 5 of Cups, you end up with the 2 of Cups. Sometimes the card will follow immediately. If you're leaving one relationship to head into another, or perhaps leaving one phase of a relationship and being disappointed as a result of lessons that had to be learned. And once those lessons are learned, you still have the Two of Cups behind you. So one more on this. Yeah, there's been fights and stuff. There hasn't been. Yeah, you've had to detach emotionally from it because it's been such a disappointment. There's so much pain and struggle. So let's take a look at the Lover's card and see what comes out in that part of the story. Okay, so there's a lot of compassion in the environment, thank goodness, right? Because situations like this don't normally make that happen too much. So at least you have that going for you. And this is the Moon. So there's still a lot of unknown. There's still a lot of stuff hidden. Perhaps secrets, a little bit of deception, maybe because the timing isn't right. Yeah, and this has been a weight for you, a very heavy weight. It's been very oppressive. And this is the completion of a cycle, and you know that. So let's see about the Ten of Chalices. This is, of course, why this would be a concern, because it looks as though somebody's leaving somebody. And we have the Strength card. So it's possible that you're leaving a water sign for a Leo. And so we have Strength as part of your final outcome next to the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have Strength over top of the Ten of Chalices in your hopes and fears section. So it sounds to me that after a lot of pain with a water sign, that you're feeling it's time to move on with a Leo, which actually could be much better suited to you for a couple of different reasons. Number one is an air sign. Air and water, they mix okay. They're all right. But really, air and fire is a much more symbiotic combination for obvious reasons as to how the elements work with one another. So perhaps you're breaking from old traditions with the Hierophant, and you want to move into the new with the fire sign. So this is going to be a whole new paradigm for you. And perhaps there's part of you that's thinking, I've left all of this behind, because it probably at one time was really good with the water sign, but this is a new thing for you. So you would be worried because you can't build the foundation for this next relationship in the same way that you built the foundation for the previous one. So that would obviously, it's just the unknown. That's really all it is. So with the Two of Wands, I'm going to have to take you. Okay. With the Two of Wands, we have Justice. So karmically, you've done everything you can to address the past. Is there anything you could be doing more? Well, see, here's the King of Wands. So if it is a Leo, this is the next phase you're moving into. And over the Strength card, I have the Six of Cups, which is often the card of a soul family or soulmate connection. So this would be pretty nerve-wracking, making this switch, especially if it's a really abrupt one, which with the Eight of Wands kind of suggests it is. the Eight of Wands, things moving really quickly. It can be falling in love. You fell in love with a Leo. And it's like, I'm so sorry, Mr. King of Cups, but I've had too much pain. We're both disappointed. We're fighting. It's time to move on. That's kind of where you're at. And sometimes water signs can't move quite as quickly as air signs. So this may be, something that has exhausted you for some time. But you're definitely at the end of a cycle. So, this only makes sense that this is what you're feeling the urge to do right now. So let's take a look at the Wheel of Fortune and see if there's any other guidance that Aquarius can use toward this paradigm shift. So this is big. This is significant. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, we're all going through shifts and changes in relationships. Your ideas about relationships up until now have been very different from where they're going. But look at that. It's the Ten of Cups. So, Ten of Cups on top of your hopes and fears. Like, see? So, whatever hesitations you have about this change with possibly a Leo, it looks to me like it's going to be okay. So, what else can I tell you here? There might be children involved in the outgoing relationship. And if that is the case, they also could be water sign, earth sign combination. It's very hard in any relationship when it falls apart, but especially when there are children. So go easy on yourselves. Be patient and be confident that you have found a state of grace and that you're not being impulsive. You're actually being really, really thoughtful about the moves that you're making. I like to sign off my reading saying stay in the love, but it sounds to me like that's not a problem. There's lots of love going around with all of the cups. Even with the sadness, it's like I don't see the Tower here, so it's not like there's any great big shakeup. It's just kind of a culmination of where your reality is right now. And it sounds to me through the cards that really this possible situation with a Leo is exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you are indeed the one who's initiating the moving on, just as an additional thing, I mean, you probably wrestled with it, and you're somewhat at peace with it because you put the work in thus far. But trust in yourself, pardon me, and the love that you feel for your family. Change is never easy, but sometimes it's necessary. And if the children are concerned, chances are they're probably going to be happier once their parents are happy. And if the Aquarius and the water sign are not happy together, it's not good for the kids. So, so move forward into the new paradigm that's being laid out in front of you. There's purpose in it somehow. You won't know it probably for a while because this is very much at the beginning. It's going to be a while before you get hindsight 2020 on this to the degree that I think you're looking for right now, because it's an enormous responsibility to be the one to say we both should be free to be happy, to walk into the next phase even if it isn't with each other. So as long as you stay in this place of compassion, which is already in your environment, but be careful of secrets because they usually don't work out in the long run. Think about it in terms of a timing thing, perhaps, in order to avoid hiding things, because that's just going to bring more karma to the situation, more work to it. So, yeah, the good news is that it looks like you're going to be really happy, and it looks as though you're going to have, everything perhaps that you had before, just in a different shape and form, with a different person, and perhaps once the two of you split and fulfill each other's, or fulfill your own dreams at this stage of the game, you can come back together in a new form as a family. Maybe not as partners, but as family. So I know it's possible because I've been fortunate enough that the people in my family have all been willing to put in the work. But it does take time. And what can I say? You're in a tough time, but in comparison, I said this to Capricorn too, in comparison to a lot of the other signs, you've got a lot less drama. It sounds as if you're almost in it, like in this particular place, and you're working through it methodically, step by step. It's inevitably going to feel like this because you can't get away from it. But the other cards around it really are just more about reflecting back and change, and how these changes are affecting the other people in your world. But you appear to be pretty aware of that and handling it very well already. So that's pretty much, I think, all I have to say for you, Aquarius, for June 2017. July should be a lot easier once you get this over with. Then you can proceed into the new. So have a great month. I hope this reading resonated with you. If it did, and you are interested in a private reading, I will have information very soon as to how you can contact me to make that happen. So stay in the love, Aquarius, and all the best.